Next up, at UFC 283, we have the co-main event and for the first time in history, we have two guys fighting each other for a fourth time. This didn't even happen in the tournament days when multiple people would enter tournaments over and over and over and potentially could have fought each other four times, right? First time ever. Let's recap. We got Deiveson Figueiredo, 21-2 overall, 3-1-1 in his last five. He's coming off the win over his opponent, Brandon Moreno, who's 20-6, also 3-1-1 in his last five, and he's coming off the win over Kai Kara France. As we recap the first three fights, the first one was a draw. Deiveson Figueiredo, in my opinion, won that fight. They took a point away.
Loses the point. Mm-hmm.
And so it's a draw. I still think he won without the point, but fine. He won that fight, right? They took a point away, but he won that fight. Second fight, Figueiredo comes out, looks like a shell of himself, is worked and submitted. And then the last fight, the scorecards had it close. It was 48-47. So Figgy won by one round. But I thought Figgy, he had three knockdowns. Two takedowns. Yeah, three knockdowns. The pick is Figgy. The line movement is a little bit strange to me. I think Figueiredo is just clearly the much better fighter who has won this fight two times already. And I don't know why people are thinking it's close the third time. I don't get it. And the money is coming in on Brandon Moreno.
Yeah. People love Brandon Moreno here, and so do I. I think that Brandon Moreno wins
Christ.
I think Brandon Moreno wins this fight, man. I really do. I think that Brandon Moreno's biggest issue is how long it's taking him to get comfortable in these fights. But I've talked about it on my channel all the time. Once he gets this going,
that's stupid.
He starts pouring it on. And I think that Deiveson Figueiredo, I talked about this on my channel. He's getting older, right? Time is on Brandon Moreno's side. Deiveson Figueiredo, 35 years old, 5'5", jacked for 125 pounds. Not an easy weight cut for him at all. And the only person that he's seen in the last 3 years is Brandon Moreno. At least Moreno got new competition with Kai Kara France last time out, and then he folded him with a body kick. And
but he didn't look good.
He didn't look good, but if he lands a body kick like he did against Kara France against Figueiredo, if he starts pumping that out, Figueiredo's not going to look good in the fourth and fifth round. I think what Brandon Moreno has to do is just not stand in the pocket for as long as he did, keep pumping the jab out and just overwhelm him, pressure him, and just beat him with volume. I don't think that Figueiredo is going to be able to keep up with him. I honestly think we see second fight type of Figueiredo this time out.
Yeah, I think, I understand where you're coming from. I get the logic of, things are changing. He's getting older. He's slowing down. I get all of that. I just feel like he's already won this fight twice. He's the better fighter. And he's winning it by, obviously he lost the middle fight, but he didn't even look like himself in that.
Right.
I think we can eliminate that fight, right? I don't think, that just didn't look like him. It's not like he went out there, fought his ass off and lost. Well, then that matters very much. He just, all week, he looked weird, was acting weird, whatever. So I think we've seen Deiveson Figueiredo win this fight twice already by a wider margin, dropped Brandon Moreno 3 times, and Brandon Moreno is now dealing with a new team, new coach. Are you not putting any weight on that whatsoever? Like, you don't think it matters?
I do think it's tough for him to be moving around. Goes to Glory, right? Or they might have changed the name. And then James Krause. So fraud, right? and then he has to change gyms once again. But I think he's under Saif Saud now, right? So if there's any place to want him to land, it's probably there, right? So I don't know. I think that if these guys are both at the peak of their abilities, then Deiveson Figueiredo probably wins. But I don't know. They've fought 3 times now, and it's just been a long time. I feel like Brandon Moreno at this point, if he's peaking and we see Deiveson Figueiredo come with anything less than his best, I think that Brandon Moreno ends up winning this fight.
Yeah, I mean, I get that it's a close fight for sure. I think Fortis MMA is very, that's why I mentioned earlier, Damon Jackson having one of the worst game plans in history, not even attempting to wrestle Dan Higate. Like, I know they've got a great team. They've got a lot of very good fighters, and they're very streaky. right? They'll win a couple in a row. They'll lose a couple in a row. They're a very streaky team. I don't necessarily think, like, who has gone there and then immediately gotten better? Because Figueiredo going to Cejudo, we have seen Cejudo immediately improve people. Immediately. Look what he did to Wei Lee.
Yeah, no,
instantly.
That's got to be the hottest gym right now, right? Even John Jones is talking about going.
John Jones is there. Look what Wei Lee went there, came out much better immediately. Yeah. And
Wei Lee went down there and started picking up Francis Ngannou. Like, there's something going on there.
So we're definitely split here. I totally get, like, Brandon Moreno's very good, very tough, talented. You're right. He's younger. He's getting dropped way too much for a 29-year-old at this weight class. At 125 pounds, you should not be getting dropped the amount of times that he's getting dropped. But I see where you're coming from. I like Figgy, but I think we both agree you got to play one of the sides here in DraftKings.
One of the sides definitely shows up on the winning lineup given the price. I don't know if the ceiling's all that high for either side, just because I expect this fight to go the distance. But I do think that you're going to need one of them because of where the price is at, despite what the score is.
Sure. And then here's a little bit of context we didn't have. Maybe you knew this, I didn't. But I guess Figueiredo's father died right before that second fight, which is why he was just not himself. I didn't know that. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But all right, we'll throw it out there. So I think we're split on the pick, but we're aligned on the logic with DraftKings. I'm not touching Monkey Knife Fight. I hate when we get lines over 100.
That's high.
Because it is high. And honestly, I think they've gone over that in 2 of the 3 fights. But, like, now I can root for or count on or predict 15 minutes. 25 is a whole nother game. Like, it's a whole nother game. Obviously, it's 10 more minutes.
And these guys, I mean, this is it, right? Unless there's something crazy happens, one of them is going to get their hand raised, and this is going to be done. Final chapter. It's
got to be. If it's a draw, Jesus Christ, because they're both champs, it can't end on a draw.
Somewhere that that there's going to be a no contest, so they have all of them, right? All
4 exactly.
Yeah. No, but I think that we could have a situation where these guys don't go at it like cats in an alley like they have in the past. Maybe they take a more measured approach because so much is on the line this time. Like, this is the last time. So maybe they come out a little bit more measured and they go under those high strike totals. But with 25 minutes to work with these guys' output and their history, so tricky for you to call that Monkey Knife Fight line.
Yep. No, I get it. I'm not going to touch that Monkey Knife Fight strike line, but if you do want to check out our bets, we have quite a few bets on this fight. Go to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member. It's only $10 a month, $2.50 a week, and you have access to all the bets, the picks, the fantasy plays, the DraftKings Optimizer, which will help you build winning lineups. It's preloaded with projection data. You click a few buttons, you can build one lineup. You can build 150. WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member.